up a little bit because I think that maybe our Q&A was a little bit abbreviated and some of you maybe felt like you were left hanging. And so we want to maybe see if we can get a little bit more information from the session prior. We do want, if at all possible, if we can get some clarification or some explanation on maybe some of the risks associated with the extraction of natural gas or some of the risks associated with some of the other plants that are looking. I think that some of the audience was really looking for that information, as well as some of the training and entrepreneurial aspect, or as far as opportunities that may be available to communities, small business owners, community leaders, etc. So if you all could expound upon that or clarify.
I think Steve is
So,
back.
I'll just make a comment. One of the things that we have done, and we work jointly with Alabama Power on this, we have a mobile gasification unit that has literally traveled about 30,000 miles in the past 3 years. And this is a unit that we can take around different parts of the country, and we're able to take woody biomass, essentially wood chips, and demonstrate the conversion of that biomass into electricity. So this unit has been used for research purposes. We've done a project with the city of Fulton Vale and outside Birmingham. We use it for educational purposes. We have also used it in cases where a potential opportunity was going to be used to create a renewable energy plant. And so there were concerns the citizens had about in terms of what would it be like to have something close by. And so we've taken the unit to a location like that and have just simply demonstrated what the impact is in terms of the conversion capability. So we've done this now for 3 years. We literally have taken the unit. We have demonstrated on the mall in Washington, D.C. We've taken it as far west as Oklahoma City for the Energy Council. We've had it all over the Southeast, and we routinely will take the unit to any of the outlying locations where people are interested in learning more about renewable energy and what the impact is of having biomass converted to renewable electricity or even to liquid fuels. So if you have or know of opportunities where you have some particular event and you would like to have the unit there, if you'll let me know, we can certainly work in that. It is scheduled pretty far in advance, but we'll be happy to do that.
Thank you, Larry. Were there any specific health risks that you all are aware of for biomass plants?
Well, I think the thing that we continue to look at, as with all of the utilities and others, is that the overall impact and the health concerns, particularly the air pollution concerns, are significant. You know, as part of our overall research, this particular unit that we use meets the clean air standards in the state of California, so which are some of the most rigorous in the country. So we know that the process that we're using and the process is environmentally clean, and we continue to focus on that to do that. We also are very interested in working so that we do have a great abundance of coal in the U.S. It is a resource that we have. Our challenge is to be able to use it in a way that is not environmentally dangerous. So the gasification laboratory that we are building on campus, which we have on campus, has the capability for us to co-fire coal with biomass. And one of the research focuses that we have is to be able to take that product, which is a synthetic gas, and to clean it up. And so one of the biggest part of our research efforts is to actually create a synthesis gas and to clean it as it is processed, so that it could be run directly to a turbine to generate electricity, or it could go to a catalyst to produce synthetic gasoline, diesel fuel, or aviation fuel.
Thank you. And not to belabor the point, but what are the health risks or hazards related to the actual disposal of the waste associated with these plants? for those communities that host?
On the mobile gasification piece, what we get essentially is in a process that we use over months period of time. We get a small amount of ash and substance that can be land applied. Again, the process does a very good job of completely using the material to the maximum extent possible. So there's very little residue that's created in the process.
That was for biomass, correct?
Yes, it's for the biomass.
So are you saying that the residue is not harmful?
Right. There we are able to take it and we can land apply it as if it's a natural product, natural substance.
Now you just said something that I have no idea what you mean. Land apply?
Right. In other words, we don't.
What does that mean?
We could put it out. You could put it out in a flower bed. You could put it out into area without creating a hazard.
So for clarification, would that be the equivalent of maybe a composting, or would it have a different effect?
I'm not the technologist, so I can't tell you specifically, but it just has very little leftover residue in terms of the process itself.
So the land applying part is putting it into the ground.
Yes, absolutely.
It's putting it into the
Right.
ground. It's acting as though it's like dirt.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm just trying to get some clarification. Look, he blew my mind with fracking. I'm saying, is fracking in the dictionary? Do I need to now create a spelling for fracking? So I said fracking. I got that, but see, you guys are assuming, well, not really, that we know some of the terminology, and we don't. So we need you to break it down to the lowest level so that we can understand it. Now, when we started talking about health hazard, you had my attention, okay? But at first it was all, oh, they're so knowledgeable, oh, they're so well learned. I was smiling. But there is another reason here. We need to know what the impact is going to have on, I call it the common man, who's not that knowledgeable, who's not coming to the meeting, even if you go door to door. We need some backup. We need a plan. I'm a person who believes in plan A, B, and C. Okay, if you had a plan A, I need B, C, and D if necessary. Okay? So I'm empty and I came here to be filled so we can go share this knowledge. Okay?
All right, we have a question in the back, sir.
Quick response. I think National should take the lead when these things are taken, because we are all well aware that branches are ignorant to these things. We know that, to be a fact, they're ignorant to it. National should take the responsibility to mandate that all branches when such things are being developed in the community to contact them. All branches mandated to contact National, and National should, out of being National, send in someone who knows about these things, who can explain these things, who can define these things to the community, the negative and positive things about what is being built. We must not play around with people assuming they know and they don't know, putting everybody's health in danger. National NAACP should take on that responsibility.
Well, excuse me, National has taken it on. That's why I don't work for National. I'm a volunteer like most of us in this room. But National hired Jackie Patterson. That's the first step he took. She's our director for climate control. That's why you got this workshop now, because Jackie asked for it. And she's going around and she's doing this in every state and every region. So, I mean, we hear. And so we hear you, and Jackie certainly takes that under advisement. I'm not speaking for her, I'm just speaking because I'm one of the Gulf State persons who were impacted by oil spillage, and I'm real into this. They can stay here all day. I don't have to go to no other workshop. That's all I need to hear about. So I can't get enough of this. So I'm with you 100%, and we own it. Trust me.
I hope so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
I just also wanted to offer some words of encouragement, or just to give you an example of how SAFE is partnering with the local branch of the NAACP in Newton County, Georgia. There's a proposal of 2 coal plants by group of electric membership corporations in our state, and the local, one of the ENCs from Newton County is involved in that investment, and the local NAACP branch is partnering with us to put on a town hall. So again, it just goes back to the point that there are, when you take the initiative, there are other resources and organizations in the communities who are looking at this issue too, and would be happy to partner. So I can stick around and give you a card too to maybe help put you in touch with some folks in your area that might be interested in organizing some events with you.
He is from Newton County, we're here.
Oh, well there. So you're doing it. Congratulations.
All right, so let's move the discussion further and talk about, we've heard a lot about job creation and all of the money that's circulating through this system. And maybe some of our panelists can elaborate on some of the programs that are now available or that are being pursued to recruit and retain young professionals of color, as well as transitional professionals, those who may be laid off from other sectors and are looking for employment, and what opportunities are there to engage communities of color to ensure that job creation is happening, of course, proportionate to the amount of risk and hosting that these communities are taking on. If any of our panelists would jump in.
Well, I'll try to respond to that. One of the things that we are doing, as you probably know, both Alabama A&M University and Auburn University provide the Alabama Cooperative Extension System throughout the state. So we have offices in all 67 counties in the state. Much of what we're doing with regard to the biomass focus is in the rural counties, particularly in West Alabama, in the Black Belt. And so much of the focus that we have in the high tonnage biomass is looking at economic development opportunities in these areas for landowners as well as for workers. If we are able to attract the capability to produce liquid fuels from biomass capability, then the natural next step is to create a biorefining operation in these locations. So in all of this, the economic development aspect is certainly an important part of what we do. And we work very closely with Kathy Hornsby at ADECA and the entire Alabama Development Office on these kind of opportunities. So job creation in the state is certainly a significant part of any of the considerations that we have in these projects.
Well, and really for us, in terms of projects, we really haven't had a whole lot of new projects in terms of Alagasco. Our existing infrastructure pretty much has stayed the same. What we try to do is run a very efficient operation. We don't do a lot of hiring, but we do look at obviously minorities. I was actually a part of a program that our company put together that went and weatherized homes for low-income customers and the elderly. And so we do bring in interns from various colleges from around the state of Alabama, whether it's Alabama Auburn, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, to actually work with our organization in various roles, whether it's communications or engineering. Our last engineer that we hired actually came from Alabama A&M. He's doing a great job for us. But one of the things in terms of the economy, in terms of growth, we don't do a whole lot of hiring. But we do try to go out and find the best and brightest people that we can. So the state of Alabama hadn't seen a lot of growth overall, so we haven't added a whole lot of employees. We tried to basically take care of operations with the people that we got. In terms of the economic development side of it, we work with Alabama Power, work with other entities to try to bring in economic development projects to the state that will hopefully bring growth and make it better for all our communities. So that's really our economic economic development viewpoint.